So, what are we off to do now, John?
We are going up to a place called Huddersfield, which I've been going to since I was, oh God, like 13 or 14 when I discovered it. Graham, can you move the stool and the... I'm the ringmaster of this stupid bloody circus. And what I try to do is to keep all the various things that we do running. And my job's really to try to make sure I can juggle and keep all the balls in the air at one time. Cryptozoology is the study of very scarce and very unexpected animals. They don't appear very often. It's easier doing this in the winter because in the summer, when a lot of the time we're wearing shorts, you can't grab hold of sort of flesh. Well, you can, but not in this sort of movie. Cryptos, hidden zoology, study of animals. It is the study of unexpected animals, new species, out of place animals, and animals that are known from folklore and known from known by the people who live in the location but have not been properly discovered by science. But it is not the study of monsters, it is not anything to do with the paranormal, and it is not the study of ghosts, ghoulies, or fucking Slender Man. So, you want to know what we're doing here?
Yes.
Well, basically, there have been sightings of what have been reported to us as large cats. We have put up trail cameras all around the area for the last 10, 12 years, in fact longer, 14 years, and we've had lots of pictures of the local wildlife, but we've had no cats at all. So what's going to happen is Richard and Archie are going to be looking for hares, and they will then be sent off to Lars at the University of Copenhagen to see what they are. And first, Lars will just look at them all under his microscope, and he'll say, that's hedgehog, that's red deer, that's roe deer, that's fox. But hopefully he'll say, aha, I wonder what this is. Goodness me, could it be a big cat? So that's what I'm hoping.
I remember there was one guy writing about us once. He said, oh, you've got to love the CFZ. They're seemingly supported by nothing except fresh air, and they've organised a expedition to Mongolia. The expeditions are my favourite bit, but you know, when you're over there you sometimes think, what the bloody hell am I doing over here? I must be mad. When you're covered in leeches or ticks, or you're vomiting, but the good bits counterbalance the bad bits to a greater degree. So the chance of seeing an actual cryptid, filming an actual cryptid, make all the hardships worthwhile.
The last proper expedition I did was in 2010 when my late wife and I, who wasn't a late wife at the time, were in Texas on my third trip investigating the sightings of hairless blue dogs. And I didn't know at the time it was going to be my last expedition, but life got in the way. And then mother-in-law, a very ancient mother-in-law, came to live with us. She was an absolute poppet, but she did sort of curtail us being able to do some of the trips we would have liked to do. And then, of course, 2018, Queen called cancer, and the whole world changed for me. And I'm only just beginning to come back into it again. I balanced running the CSZ with being a family man, and then suddenly, even though we had 2 years to get used to the idea, suddenly I was by myself again. It was quite peculiar how quickly I just got back into being the bachelor cryptozoologist again. Pretty well from the moment we got back here after the funeral. There were several people who came to the funeral who were sort of major CFZ people, and that evening, rather than getting drunk or hiding away weeping and wailing, we actually filmed an episode of On the Track. So yes, I've got a new purpose. Rather, I've got the old purpose back, which is not quite the same thing. But
Do you miss it?
yes, I didn't realise how much I missed it until I came back into it. I mean, I never stopped doing the administration stuff. I'd kept on doing the blogs and the posts and updating the website and all that stuff, all the stuff I had to do. But I'm now getting back into doing field work again, which means I'm in the process of recruiting a lot of strapping young lads like you who can push my wheelchair up hills. So I'm just sending out the notifications for all the people. I send out about 50 notifications each week because this probably sounds mildly pathetic, but I really enjoy doing the live chat. Saturdays is the one day off I have a week, and I really enjoy sitting here and doing a live chat with everybody.
Really is.
Richard and I were moaning the other day that we only get a couple of hundred people watch the show, but that means every week we have the equivalent of a village hall full of people all coming to watch the show, mostly as it goes up live. And that's something pretty far out. But, geez, and it also takes my mind off being so ill bloody time, because I'm afraid I'm in quite a lot of pain most of the time, and so I just had to deal with it, and this is my way of dealing with it.
And then how many years has the centre been running for?
30 years last April, so I started it in April 1992.
How did it come about?
I was smoking a joint on the shores of Loch Ness, which you must admit is a cool fucking way to start a story. The idea came to me that I wasn't the only person in the world that was interested in this stuff. But as far as the things we've actually done, yes, I'm fairly pleased with what we've done. I think probably my proudest moment is really on the last expedition, when the boys actually proved that one locally known cryptid actually existed. Rich, you were there, it's your story.
Whilst we were looking for the orang pendek and talking to witnesses in this particular area of Sumatra the last time, we heard about another thing they believed in called the haramau tinky, which is supposed to be sort of like a spirit tiger that lived in the jungle. And on our camera traps, which we put out, we got a full-grown female Sumatran tiger, and this is in an area where there's not supposed to be any tigers. So we think that the stories of the haramau tinky are based on glimpses of real tigers in a place where nobody knew that they were.
As the CFZ as a whole, how many animals have you undiscovered?
All told, let's try, Richard, your midge larvae in Thailand. Then there was the Bolan Lake creature, which I saw, and various other members of the party saw. They have got lots of orang pendek footprints.
The hair.
The orang pendek hair, and they've actually seen it. And most recently, the tiger in Sumatra and Carl Marshall seeing what was almost certainly an orang pendek. So that's 10 things.
I've seen no droppings of hair anywhere today from anything, not even a domestic dog.
I think we've had enough positive sightings and positive experiences and enough positive evidence to mean that we certainly haven't wasted our time over the last 30 years.
That's my main goal in life, is to prove the existence of these cryptids and then get protection for them. Because there are things that might be highly endangered that might go extinct before we know they even exist. And with rainforest disappearing as quickly as it does, you have to think, you know, what else is disappearing before we even know what it is. Yeah, the only hairs I've seen are dog and cat hairs all over my bleeding jumper. I think once there's one big discovery, something gets proved, we've proved the orang pendek, we've proved the continued survival of the Tasmanian wolf. Once we get one of these, there'll be like a domino effect and it'll become more and more respectable. You've got to remember that once upon a time it was heretical to think that rocks fell from the sky. Meteorites were thought of as superstitious nonsense because of course rocks can't fall from the sky. They thought that the gorilla was nothing more than an ogre from native folklore. The kraken, a creature from Norse mythology, turned out to be the giant squid.
Life's too short to spend it doing what somebody else tells you to do. I realised 30 plus years ago that I was no good at working for the man, so I stopped. Well, no, I actually got sacked by the man, and I then decided, well, let's have a bash at working for yourself instead. And I've been doing that ever since. My advice to people is do what is best for you. Some people would hate and not be any good at doing the sort of thing that me and Richard have done. Other people might be really good at it.
Seize the day. Do it. Because you only have one life. Spend it doing something you like, something that interests you, your passion. Follow it. Because there are so many people that have been trapped their entire lives in jobs they don't want to do, in soul-destroying rubbish, and thrown their lives away. So whatever your passion is, follow it, do it. The world isn't this well-explored, tame place that we think it is. The world isn't fully charted and known and explored.
Do you love cryptozoology?
Yes.
No, I fucking hate it. God, crypto fucking zoology. I really wanted to be a store clerk, one of those people who does double entry bookkeeping. That was my dream.